Hello guys, and welcome to my next episode in my Minecraft Let's Play. Today we're going to do something a little bit different, and we're actually in my creative world rather than on the server. But I thought I would show you a quick tutorial on how I build my storage silo. And this silo will actually be a little different than what's on my server. I decided to tinker around with it a little bit, and ended up making it somewhat more compact. So it actually ends up being pretty item light, pretty resource light, so it's not impossible to build in your survival worlds if you're a little short on supplies or just kind of getting started. This is actually something that you don't absolutely need it, but it is a nice thing to have, especially when you're trying to sort out all your cobblestone or gravel and stuff like that, stuff that you have a lot of surplus. So we'll go ahead and get started, and the first thing you need to do is you need to dig out a 1 deep area that's this shape. So we'll get rid of all this. Need to put down a chest, and this will be your output chest. Not there, right there. Then I'd build it with a stairway here and blocks surrounding it. Then what you want to do is place 2 blocks on either side and a stairway here. Now what that does is from the front it makes it look like a full block, but you can open your chest. If I had a normal full block, I wouldn't be able to open that. So by putting a stairway here, it gives it the illusion that it's just a wall, but it still gives you the functionality of the chest. So next thing we're going to want to do is carry hoppers out from the chest like this, and then 1 going in. Then we're going to put a double chest just like that, and then whatever you have for a building block with a comparator facing out of it. Then you'll need another building block, a repeater, and then a redstone block. Now what this does is it makes it so that this comparator can only put out a signal when the chest is telling it, or when the chest gives it an equivalent signal to what's going in. And to explain that a little bit, I set this up. Here we've got a hopper that has a stackable item in it. And when there's a stackable item in the hopper, the redstone can only go 1. A sword tells the game that it's essentially the same as a full stacked item. So it would be the same as a full stack of redstone blocks or of hoppers or whatever. A full 64 or 16, whatever the whole stack is. So a full stack will reach 3 redstone. Now, what the comparator or what the signal going into a comparator does is if I put 1 sword in here, they match, so it can still reach. But if I put 2 swords in, the comparator shuts off because this signal is not the same as this or more. So to make this comparator shoot a signal to this redstone lamp, I have to put at least 1 more sword in there. And then you can see it increases. I think if I put a stackable item in there, nothing will happen because it's not a full stack. So if this was another sword, or a piece of armor, or something that you can't stack, or if I had a full stack, so if I did something like, say, a full stack of stone, if I throw that in there, it should shut off again. So that's more or less how the comparators work, at least in this case. There's a couple other settings, but we don't have to get into that today. But that's just kind of to explain what kind of mechanics we're working with as far as the game goes. So then the next thing you'll need to do on the storage silo is put another piece of redstone here. Now the next thing you'll do is you'll throw a hopper right there. Put a double chest on top of the hopper. Now pick your building block. Put a comparator on top of that. And then I like to use red wool when a block is actually carrying a signal. So because at least for this mechanism, since there's only one real circuit, I don't need more than one color wool. So by using red wool, that shows that it's taking a redstone circuit. So I'll put that there, and I'll put redstone here. And this acts the exact same as this repeater going in. It just blocks the comparator from putting out a signal until this double chest puts out an equivalent signal. And that's pretty much the entire storage silo. All you need to do then is tile it as high as you want. In this case, we'll only be going 5 double chests high. But just to repeat the process, put another comparator here, a repeater on top of this red wool block. Keep wanting to say redstone. Throw a redstone block there and there. Then we'll take a hopper, put it here. We'll put another double chest. Another block with a comparator on top. Redstone. Red wool. And then one more layer. Put that there. Double chest. Building block. Comparator. Repeater. And in this case, we only need one redstone block. And a hopper. So ideally, what this will do is this should, if I throw, we'll say a stone in there, this should go all the way to the bottom, and we should find it in here. So that's the entire mechanism set up. Pretty much all the redstone is done. Now all you have to do is place your redstone lamps, and that's pretty much the end. Then I'll fill it just to show you how it works, and that it only fills, or it only turns on the lamps when they're full. So to place the redstone lamps, what you have to remember is the lamp either has to touch a block that is being powered directly by a comparator, or it needs to touch one of these red wool blocks. And as far as building blocks go, you can only use blocks that can carry, that you can put redstone on. So like this quartz, you can put redstone on it. But if I had, say, glass, you cannot put glass or redstone on glass. So basically that means glass will not carry a redstone signal. So for our purposes, we're going to use quartz. And all you need to do is pillar up. And then put redstone in the middle. So on the first layer, this comparator is going into this block. So that'll power that redstone. The middle one is going into this redstone block. Then this block gets powered. This red wool block, not redstone, red wool gets powered. And this block gets powered. So then we'll just cap it off. And that's more or less what you're going to be left with. And you can build these side by side. The redstone blocks should not cause any problems for the hoppers. So you can tile this as far horizontally as you want, and it can go as high as you want. I personally think 5 is plenty, because that's 5 double chests. So that should be plenty of room. But to show how this works, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use swords, and I'm going to fill this thing up. And I'll try to fill it enough so that the bottom chest is full here. This lamp is on, and then the chest that's connected to this lamp has some in it, but the light is not on. So I think to do that, I'll go ahead and do a time lapse, and I'll check back in when this thing is somewhat full. So I'll talk to you guys in probably a minute or so. Alright guys, so some of this is filled up. You can see that this bottom chest is full of swords. The first double chest is full. And the second double chest does have swords in it, but is not full. So it doesn't put a signal out to this redstone lamp. So it doesn't detect as being full, and you know you can get more. The reason this is useful, again, is if you have a bunch of cobblestone or dirt or gravel or anything that you get a lot of. You can use this as a mass storage system. You know how much you have. You know when you can maybe start discarding some of it or have to put it somewhere else. And it's just a very convenient system to have in your base. It's resource light. Probably the hardest thing to get is the comparators, because you need to have quartz for that. So you'll need to go to the nether for that. But besides that, it's a pretty easy system to do. And with this design, it's pretty compact. But that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and hopefully next week we'll be back on the server working on housing the shooting gallery. I've already got it started. You can kind of see it in the background there. So I'm pretty excited to get started with that on the server. I just want to do a little bit more designing. But like I said, that's all I have for you. So thanks for watching.